Hello, welcome back to the Z with more NDSU football coverage. This weekend, NDSU had a very disappointing loss to South Dakota State down in Brookings. Was not a good performance by the Bison all around whatsoever. The penalties, just critical mistakes they made, the offense not being able to finish, just putting themselves down early and then trying to claw their way back way too late in the game. But will it ruin their entire season for the rest of the year? Probably not. They just got to bounce back. They'll be fine. Obviously, a game they probably should have won outright, turn over the ball. Just something you can't do against a very powerful South Dakota State team overall. Just recapping that game, I don't think NDSU has anything to worry about. They just have to worry about, bouncing back, getting out of the gate early and ready to play some football straight away and play the game all 4 quarters. Now, with NDSU losing that game, they were second in the rankings. They have dropped to 5th. South Dakota State was 9th. They have moved all the way up to 4th, being ahead now of NDSU in the rankings, which, in my opinion, should have not happened. I think South Dakota State, being 9th, should now be in the 5th spot, and North Dakota State losing should be in the 4th spot. I don't think South Dakota State winning against NDSU automatically just puts them above them in this ranking. Obviously, I know this is a conference game, so that holds a little bit more value than a non-conference. But still, South Dakota State 7-2, losing to UNI as well, with North Dakota State has beat. And North Dakota State right now is number 1 in the Missouri Valley, to where I don't think you can put South Dakota State above North Dakota State. I think those should be flipped. Now, Montana State, James Madison, ranked 2nd and 3rd now. James Madison taking North Dakota State spot. Sam Houston still in the number 1 spot with that 8-0 record, which obviously, again, in my last video, I said Sam Houston does not deserve to be in that number 1 spot because their conference is just a way weaker conference than what obviously the Missouri Valley Football Conference is, again, with South Dakota State, North Dakota State all being in there, Southern Illinois, Missouri State, South Dakota, all being top 25 teams. Sam Houston, I don't think in the playoffs is going to do very well. Obviously, when they start playing the James Madison, Montana States, South Dakota States, North Dakota States, UC Davis's, Eastern Washington teams, they're gonna have an awakening because they're not playing in good teams right now. It's gonna be interesting. South Dakota State plays South Dakota this weekend. South Dakota, very good team, obviously ranked right now at 19th still. They pull upset against South Dakota State. That is huge for North Dakota State in the rankings. They move up, obviously will move up, and sitting at a better spot at there now. Sitting at 5th right now for North Dakota State. Not a very good position in playoff time because they're gonna get 1 game guaranteed at home. The rest are gonna be probably away. So for North Dakota State, hopefully something can happen, something can shift. Obviously Montana State still gotta win. James Madison still gotta win. So hopefully something gets shook up here within the next couple of weeks. Now looking on to this Saturday, obviously NDSU playing Youngstown State. 2-6 team right now. Currently 1-5 in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Obviously NDSU has been dominating against Youngstown State. Obviously, there's been a couple close games here and there against the Penguins, but the Bison are dominating this series. Obviously, 11-4. NDSU obviously has got to bounce back from this loss. I think they will. I think we have no problem there. The coaches will do their job and get them going. And the athletes know themselves that they got to play some better football here. So the Bison right now, obviously with the next 2 wins, will get the Missouri Valley Football Conference and qualify them to the FCS playoffs. Now for playoff position, NDSU will still have a chance to be a top 2 seed in the playoffs. Obviously, whatever happens within the top 5 coming up here, and we'll get home field advantage throughout the semifinals. So looking on Saturday against the Penguins, we got another big back this week, like Pierre Strawn's last week performance. Obviously demolished the Bison's defense, got yards fast, got that touchdown really early, just to break in the defense coverage. Obviously, got to do this again with this Youngstown State's running back. He can do the same thing. He can get yards fast. He gets a lot of carries, obviously, for the Penguins. Good, and he's another running back we have to make sure he's put in his place and then he can't get down the field and get yards this week. Obviously, I don't think Youngstown State's got the same type of offensive line as Dakota State does, but obviously this running back can hurt us again if we don't stop him. So this weekend, my predictions for the Bison, I think it's going to be about 30-14. Obviously, a Bison win down in Youngstown, but the Bison got to show that they're back and they can play the full 4 quarters and finish strong and start strong. That's what they got to do. And then go on to South Dakota and beat them and get this Missouri Valley Football Conference and hopefully something happening within the top 5 for them to get a better seed in the playoffs. But on that, thank you. Please, if you like this video, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Go Bison.